and welcome to my channel, where today we are doing something fun and exciting and new. And by fun and exciting and new, I mean we are not doing a solid color challenge. We are furnishing a house that Simarchy built for her Furnish Me challenge that she does on her stream. She builds this shell of a house, and then we, the humble viewer, go back and furnish it, and she goes ahead and tours them on stream. She was building the schoolhouse the other day while I was at work, and I was feeling so inspired. I hadn't been this excited to just furnish a house in a really long time. Normally, I don't know what normally happens. I wanted to furnish it. Like that's it. I really wanted to furnish it. So, I did. I went ahead and took this little schoolhouse and converted it into a little tiny house. Looking back, I didn't quite stick with the color scheme that was on the outside. The outside, for some reason, I thought had a little bit more brown to it than it did, but it turns out, being a school, it had more red. So on the interior, I went with a little bit of a brown and white theme. In hindsight, maybe it should have been a little bit, brown and red, but that's not what I did. Not brown and red and white. But that's not what I did. So this is what I did. I really like this kitchen. This is the kitchen that I would cook with. I, for a really long time, wanted a tiny house, and my one condition upon having a tiny house... Now, let me try that again. Why am I not able to English today? One of my conditions upon having a tiny house was that it had a functional kitchen. Of course, that means that the kitchen would be the entire house. And I really kind of overdid it for this kitchen, for this space. Like, that cabinet on the left, that is a lot. That is a lot of functional space that I am eating up just with cabinetry because it's pretty. But I liked it, so I rolled with it. Because if I had a tiny house, that's absolutely what I would do. Like, well, it's pretty like this, so we're keeping it. I tried using the ceiling fan that was just added with the free patch, and I ended up putting a light in it because why doesn't the ceiling fan have a light? I know technically ceiling fans cannot have light, but I have yet to actually see one in the real world unless it was in a high school gym. That's about the only place I've ever seen a ceiling fan that doesn't have a light in it. Either way, I probably shouldn't have placed it here because in the recording, you're staring at the ceiling fan, but I think I get rid of that in a little bit. And then this living space was so incredibly hard to do. I decided, well, and so much decide. If I had a tiny house, I would not want to compromise on some core things. Some of those core things for me would be I would have to have a separate dining space compared to my living space. And in my apartment now, that's absolutely what I have. We had to get a dining table. I didn't want to have to eat every meal at a couch. I understand that it's perfectly possible, especially in The Sims where it doesn't really make much of a difference in their lives if they're in front of a couch every day. But I don't know, it didn't feel right to me. So I shoved this TV under the stairs. I think it's functional. It's kind of clipping into the staircase a little bit, but you can't see it on the other side. So I really liked that I put those plants there and a little bit of clutter of books, and I tried really hard to fit a rug that just made sense to me over here. But as it turns out, none of the rugs really made sense to me because I wanted it to be just under the living space. But then it looked weird because the room was so small that if it wasn't centered in the room, it just looked unintentional. It looked like it was just like flopped down. So I ended up just putting, rugs in front of the front door and the back door, which I think works out okay. It looked good to me. It made sense to me. None of these big rugs made sense to me. But I really like how that main floor looks. I'd live there. Like 10 out of 10. I would live there. This bathroom that I'm attempting to build was not easy. So I just kind of started throwing stuff down, and I knew that I wanted to have a double bed. Because if a sim is living here, it's an adult sim, and they deserve to have a double bed. I know some adults have twin beds, and they're perfectly okay with it, but I personally have not slept on a twin bed since I was 13? Yeah. Since I was 13, I think was the last time I slept on a twin. No, college. I slept on a twin bed in college. That was Twin XL, so it barely counts. But anyway, an elegant adult sim that was financially responsible enough to purchase a tiny house or build their own tiny house, depending on the story we're going with here, I figured that a double bed would be a priority to them. And I thought about turning this into like some sort of like a loft space, but I didn't think the area was big enough for it. This was me experimenting with just making it into a water closet and then having the tub out in the master, because that's something I've seen in real life a lot. My aunt and uncle's old house, maybe their current house, their old house had just a tub in the master, and it was really beautiful. It was cool. I really love the wallpaper that I used for that bathroom. I think it's so elegant. I don't know why I've never used it. Maybe I have used it, but it's been a long time. And then, I'm pretty positive that I accomplished this, but I think I built this house using a base game, which is something that I'm so excited for. I thought that would be an additional challenge, which is part of why you just keep me see. I can English, I swear. Which is why you see me constantly going and refiltering it, because I try to like hit tools so that I can clone something from downstairs to upstairs, and then when you do that, for some reason it unsets all of your filters, which I really hate. Because one of these days I'm going to end up cheating at a challenge. Oh, well, it came up with my filters, and then it didn't come up with my filters. This layout was really hard, trying to find where the bed was going to go, and I really wanted another window to be behind it, so it was symmetrical behind the headboard. But I didn't really check the rules that closely, so I wasn't sure if that was considered cheating. Also, why won't they just snap to the curtains? Why won't they snap to the right spot on this? It was the only window that was exposed that didn't fit the curtain I was using in the rest of the house. So I think in the end I said screw it, no curtain. But yeah, I didn't know if adding another window was considered cheating, and I didn't want to have to ask in the Discord again. So I kind of just went with it. I rolled with it. In my own personal gameplay, I might add another window back there at the house. We have so many options for bookcases in base game. I never realized that. I don't really like most of them, but that does not mean that the options are not there. I thought it would be really cool to put like a little reading nook over here. That's something that I'm finding that I'm putting in more and more of my houses. It's like a reading nook in the bedroom. So maybe that's something I need to experiment with having in my real life. That could be fun. Again, I ran into the issue with rugs here, where I was like, we could have nice plush carpeting under the rug. Not under the rug. Under the reading nook. And I already had a rug that I liked under the bed. Well, it looks kind of weird to have two rugs, so we're not going to have two rugs. And this is probably my favorite thing that I did with this entire house, was putting plants in this window. I did not know that you could put stuff in this window, but then it kind of just hit me like, what if we tried? And it worked. Like, it actually worked. That is so cool. Like, if I could have a real life house that had that beautiful window opening up to the outside world, I would absolutely put plants there, but they would probably have to be fake, because I'm the worst when it comes to plants. Like, my lemon tree, the leaves are turning yellow and falling off. And then, like, it keeps getting underwatered, overwatered, underwatered, overwatered, too much sun, not enough sun. Animals are way less stressful, because at least they can tell you what they need. Like, my cat, when his food bowl is low, will let me know. He'll meow at me, and then chase me into the bedroom by nipping at my heels to let me know his food bowl is low. My tree, I'm just guessing. Adding little flower boxes. They looked way too big when they were the normal size, so I think I scaled them down to make them fit. And then with base game, I was actually having trouble because I thought it'd be really cool to have a light on the left and a light on the right, but I just couldn't find any lights that like fit the aesthetic of this house and also looked good. And I figured you wouldn't see the light that I was putting up there if you were in live mode. Did not keep the elephant topiary, although it was really cool. But I figured you couldn't see the light if you were in live mode or if you were live mode. Other people call it live mode, but I've been calling it live mode since I was like 4 years old, so I can't get out of that habit. Anyway, I figured you wouldn't see the light, but it would add brightness, and brightness is really important to me, so that's what we have. And I spent a lot of time making this lawn look kind of overgrown. I don't know. Oops, sorry about that motorcycle going by. People drive like jerks past my house all day, every day. It's really frustrating. Anyway, I spent a lot of time making this area look overgrown. I don't know why I thought it would be overgrown. It, actually, I think I do. So I figured this was a converted schoolhouse, and they turned it into a tiny house. So I figured that they probably spent all of their investment on the inside rather than the outside. So maybe they just haven't gotten to the lawn yet. Maybe that's what it is. Like maybe they were just so focused on converting everything inside they just haven't gotten there. And all things considered, I don't think it looks actually too terribly overgrown in the end when I'm done with that. But it's still it does not look like a well maintained yard. That's a spoiler. Is it wrong to put spoilers in your speed build videos? Because that's something I find that I'm really struggling with is remembering what I did when, and also picking fencing. Fencing is really hard to pick, especially with the base game stuff. I don't know if they've added a whole lot of fencing in all of the other packs because I usually shy away from playing backyards. But I always have a really hard time with fencing. And then fencing with foundation, I think I figured out what my problem with that is though. I think it's because I always start drawing at the house and it attaches to the foundation. If you go from the yard into the house, I don't think it does that. If you're struggling with that, I think that's true. I really wanted there to be a pool back here, but I don't think the pool ended up looking the way I wanted it to. So just bye pool. Terrain paint. That's really fun. I am having so much fun with terrain paint. I always struggle trying to pick stuff to lead up to my houses from the street because, you know, nothing matches the concrete sidewalks that are out there, which is a whole different level of ridiculous to me. But I always struggle with picking stuff out of the the flooring. And it never looks right to me. Because it's just a harsh line against another harsh line of two separate materials. I like the terrain paint because it doesn't look nearly as harsh. From some grass. I was watching a tutorial video that said that you shouldn't use more than 3 types of plants in a yard, or else it starts to look crazy or something like that. Not crazy. There's a word. Too much. It starts to look like a jungle or something like that. There was very specific phraseology used, and I don't remember what it was. I don't remember whose video it was, but it happened. I think I used like 4 or 5 different plants. I think it still looked okay, and that's not counting trees. I did add, but I'm really happy with how the house itself came along. Backyard is just okay. I'll get better someday. Maybe I should have sized down that lamp before I stuck it on the wall out there. Oh, that's something I'll play around with in the future. But rain paint, my new favorite. It makes everything look so much more realistic. I love it. I don't know why I've never really used it before. I used to use it all the time in The Sims 3. Oh, we're in the screenshots already. Well, here is my completed build. Not my build, my furnishing. Simarchy did all the building, and I can't take any credit for that, but I love how this looks. This all looks so good. I think. I think it's cool. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. I would live there. Like, really, truly, I would live in this house. Anyways, thank you everyone for hanging out. Great rest of your day. Bye-bye.